Well, I finally did it. After 3 years of drone ownership, the second time I've ever had anything that could be called a crash. I got it stuck in a 200-foot tree. The only other time I ever crashed it was chasing Tinkerman Mick, also known as Stiffy now. I may have some footage of that. If I do, I'll put it in here. Anyway, it's 200 foot up a gum tree in a really tough to get to spot. I found myself doing increasingly more risky things to try and get this drone back and decided I needed to walk away. Now I've ordered a new drone, declared it a total loss. It's cost me $1,000, which is about what I earn in a year off this YouTube channel. So at this point it's a hobby, not not a profit at all. Anyway, now I've decided there may be some potential to get it back. I went over all the photos I've taken and I found I did have one at 30 times zoom on my camera, on my phone. I actually saw it in a photo. So I can give you the 30 times zoom shot here and the 10 times zoom shot. You can't see it with your bare eyes. It's just up there. So I had a chat to a few mates I know, and so we had a friend from H&S Firearms recommended I take a kid's bow, which should be slow enough to thread a leader wire up there. And I had a chat to another mate of mine who've done a lot of faves for it, Predator Tackle, and he's going to send me 2,000 meters of 50-pound fishing line. And I've also found some bricky string that might be easier to see, and a set of sinkers. Now, as for how I actually get that up there, I'm going to try the bow and arrow, but I do have a mate that might have a license for a particular device that might actually get it up there real easy for me. Otherwise, slingshots are a bit of a restricted thing in this state. There is something on the regulations about the difference between one having a wrist support and the other not. I'm not sure which way around, so I have to call the district firearms officer and work that out. But I may be able to attach one of these to some of these and fling it over the top, and that might get it down. Otherwise, you know, we'll work on a few different ideas. Cutting this tree down is not an option, so don't bother asking. And getting an arborist up there is out of the question cost-wise. At that point, I may as well have done what I did and buy a new drone anyway. I had the DJI Air 2S Flymore kit, which that at the time was about $2,500. They're worth less than $1,000 by a smidge now in Aussie dollary dues. So I have another one coming. If I get this down and it works perfectly fine, I may be able to return the other one. I was stressing very badly. I also managed to, in the process of trying to get this out the first time, ended up with a baby brown snake in my backpack, and I had to let it free without getting bitten. Yeah, I've scratched myself up, I've dehydrated myself, I have multiple sclerosis, I overexerted myself. The whole day of filming with this was just to get a few quick drone shots on a passing stop and continue on, and it was supposed to be the low effort solution to me being already run down. So, long explanation aside, we are going to attach this to this and see how we go. I may get it through here, otherwise I'll drill it out, but I've got a few ideas. Okay, so I'm going to try a bit of a knot here. I want a really big knot, so this is a granny knot with a whole bunch of loops through it. Should make a nice big lumpy old knot, and then we might make a second one if we need to. If that makes a suitable knot, that shouldn't pull through. Alright, we have a couple of plans here, and I've hot glued the back here to stop it sliding down. That will probably come off at some point. Anyway, it stops it sliding down initially. I've got one on each roll of these. These are 100 meters long. I reckon that tree might be 30 or 40 meters, maybe more. I can't really tell. I'm going to have to look at my flight data and see how tall that tree was exactly. And yeah, but we'll have fishing line as well as an option. We'll have spare ones of these. We'll see what else we can come up with.
The next morning.
One of the weaknesses of the DJI Air 2S is it doesn't have proximity sensing on the side. And I was trying to do a fancy revolve shot. Popped into a gum tree, and gum trees grow very tall, taller than most things in the canopy. So it was a bit higher above than the rest. 3 years I've had it. Second time I crashed it, had to do it properly, but it's about 200 foot up there. I've got a bunch of different ideas. I had to step away from it. I ran myself into the ground trying to get it back. so I've been gone for about 3 or 4 days. Now I'm going back today. I'm taking channel supporter Daniel with me, and if I'm lucky, I'll have another mate show up. That was a vehicle that jumped up very fast. I'm waiting for a couple of F-35s to land at a RAF base here to get a good gander at them. Anyway, this bloke who's showing up, he's got appropriate equipment and licensing to do it, but he doesn't want to be filmed, and I understand and respect that. So there'll be some narrow angles and some weird cuts. We'll see how it goes, but hopefully we can get a string line over it and we can shake that branch down and get it down.
A few moments later.
We're back on site with some help, and we're going to walk through there with a bunch of gear and see what we can do. Alright, through the blackberries we go, and I sensibly have worn shorts and immediately walked into blackberries. So we just got to go slow with this shit, be sure to stand on top. Not our tree yet, a bit further on. That's right, I remember the sword bush. I've got a marker on this tree here to say that I could see it from here, from this position. Okay, lighting's good today. I brought binos, we'll see if we can see it.
1 hour later. Eventually.
Alright, we have success after many attempts and all the mucking around we're doing, but we got it. The gimbal was a little bit wedged on the way down and a little bit of misaligned paneling there. I reckon she'll fire up alright, but we've got to take it to the top of the hill. I don't think there'll be anything left in the battery. No, she's stone flat, but yeah, it looks to be in good nick. So we might be able to even sell this on to offset the cost of the new one. We'll find out. Anyway, gonna hike to the top of the hill. Alright, we're on the way out. We'll bundle all that, we'll go up back to the vehicle, we'll get another bag, come and bundle up all that cordage and shit. But yeah, we're gonna hike our way out with a drone. Under this tree. Alright, spent a lot of year walking through the bush, so I get used to remembering my way around and think each foot out. Alright, there we go. We might even be in time for the corner store and grab a celebrity bite to eat. Alright. Oh, cool. And we're going to swap to a good battery and see if she fires up. Alright, that's good. See if the gimbal does its thing. Gimbal's got problems. Oh no, gimbal's okay. Oh, she fires up alright. We might just give it a quick test. Now, if we put it down on the ground, we'll go over here. We'll just check that everything works. Prop check. All 4 props are spinning.
Home point updated.
Okay, she's going to hover all right. Steers okay. Backwards, forwards. Let's go gimbal down. Gimbal down's good. Alright, gimbal up. Alright. Take some photos, that's good. Alright, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a couple of photos real quick. that I was going to get, and then we will call it quits. So got a vehicle with a 6B here. I want a vehicle with a 4B as well. Picture with a 4B. Avoid the tree. Alright, now return to home. Seems to be
Landing.
functioning perfectly fine. Alright, yeah, this one I'll fix it up, clean it up, and I'll put it on the market as used and honestly what happened, and offset the cost of the new one. She's going to auto land. There she goes. Alright, beautiful. Alright, so I've gone to pack it up and put the gimbal guard on. The gimbal guard doesn't quite fit properly, I think because this bit's moved out of the way a bit. So maybe a bent chassis or something. So we'll pack it up in the foam for now, and but we got it back. Alright, after a successful win, going to the corner shop. Alright, a snack and a drink, and nice sunny clear day.
1 hour later.
Right, I am home with a whole bunch of stuff on board, so let's go and offload this thing. Okay, we are back home, and now we can check for damage. I needed this win, I really did. Send my little screen with my channel supporters into it. Let's have a look here. So she's come down. I think it's taken a hit to the gimbal on the way down somewhere, and it's pushed this out slightly. Wonder if I can just push that back in, or if I'm going to have to undo screws. Now there is obviously a warranty void if removed screw here that put a little bit of sealant on it. I'd wager that it's out of warranty already. In fact, I've checked the DJI thing and it definitely is. I think if I undo these screws here, I can lift it up and see what's misaligned with that. And now the gimbal was having a problem that it would, in one orientation, it would stick. I don't think I can replicate that. Maybe there, no. Okay, so all axes of the gimbal seem to be pretty good. So that's pretty good. I mean, it didn't take a hard impact when it first crashed, it just got hung up. It was just the coming down out of the tree. So I'm just concerned where this has popped out, what behind it might have pushed it out. So yeah, I think what I'll do, I'll pull these screws out, we'll inspect. Okay, so I'm in the middle of a Discord call and I'm just in the process of unscrewing all of this, having a look. These are the contacts for our landing LED. So I guess straight away what I think about that is if you were to pull that out, you could put contacts on there and run it like a relay or a servo, rather than having to use the optical thing. But we can see here's our LiDAR setup, here's our cameras, nice big aluminium castings, here's all our antenna connections. Kind of interesting in here, but what I see is this is just free floating. This actually doesn't look like there's any real damage on that. It just looks like I can pop that back in. It's just not too hard to get back in. There isn't any real damage on the housing in here. This feels like aluminium actually. This is yeah, this is an aluminium housing. I guess that's a heatsink. So I guess we can just put that back on. That'll pop in. And we'll grab the gimbal guard. Alright, now we lifted that off, pushed that little plastic bit back in. If I hook the gimbal guard over, this might work really well. Beautiful. Goes back on perfectly. So aside from a bit of prop damage, we're pretty well right. So one of these propellers is a little bit damaged, but I've got a spare. So we'll put it all back together, put the new props on, and we'll see how we go.